Gypsy and Demona. I forgot to add one thing to that video, and I'm gonna make this a separate video, but it's still about the other one that you both are to make. I only had to do this, so it means I'm gonna make this a quick video. I'm still gonna say goodnight to you both, so don't worry about that. Anyways, yes, this is what you both have to also know about your videos. Gypsy, you do have something expected to wear. So do you, Demona. You wonder what it is, don't you? You both are really thinking about that. After you were to watch the other video, which is over 22 minutes, you wonder what it is. So your mind gets puzzled thinking about it. It wanders, ponders, and doesn't seem to know what it is, so this way you don't have the fear of disappointing me. Since I mentioned in that video that you both were to make sure you do, and I repeat, do, continue to make me please. So this way you'll start seeing more videos of me. The reason why you're seeing this one is because I forgot to mention something. Now, I've already mentioned that Gypsies is meant to be long. However, since I took as long as I did, and I did give Gypsy a lot to remember, then I gave Demona, I suppose, a good amount to remember too. Demona, I changed your size of your video to medium, which means it's between long and short, while hers is longer, since she's meant to go into great depth, while you are just straightforward about all the topics. Well, she is meant to go in great depth. Gypsy is meant to go in great depth is because, for one, she knows her soulmate, Nick, expects her to get more and more detailed as I keep on urging her to develop those over time, as she's doing. So far she's doing pretty well on that. She's getting more and more detailed, which is good. She continues to keep getting this way, then obviously that's a big plus for us and her development. But yes, since she has to get into great detail with it, that means she has to take longer, which is a good thing. And Gypsy, take your time. I'm serious. Take your time to remember everything. You already know that Demona got my permission to help you remember stuff that you're supposed to talk about. You know that Gypsy and Demona, you're both obviously adored by me, obviously. But you both also should know one other thing. Gypsy, there's one other extra thing you can mention, because Nick did mention it in the past towards you. How you feel about threesomes. He's never going to make you do a foursome. I know he won't. Maybe threesome he might make you do, but that's because he wants to explore. You gotta remember that too. So, you have a lot to remember. If you have to listen to it in your your earpieces, while you have it plugged into your laptop, and you write down each topic, just remember them all, just so you make sure you please me. Then make sure you do that. I'm serious. You want me to be pleased, you want him to be reassured, you do that. The same thing with you, Demona. You want to write down the topics I mentioned for you, you do the same. The only reason you might have to do foursomes is because I am known to be the most sexual one out of us all. That's the reason why you gotta adjust to me. And believe me, you're meant to be able to handle crazy things sexually. Remember, Demona, you are meant to do it. You may at times be a little doubtful towards it because you're not sure what you're capable of. But me, I've seen deep within even your pictures. I can see the fire within your eyes. That means that you can handle it. So now, here's what you both are to wear. Since Gypsy's more innocent, she's gonna wear white and red. White, red, that sounds a good combination for her. And Gypsy, try to make it as much lingerie as you can out of that, because you're still talking about sexual topics, which means you should look sexual for it, since you should make it seem that way. And as for Demona, you're also wearing red, but you're also wearing black. Yes, they're vampire colors. It's deeper than that, though. You're the more bad girl side. And you are meant to be that since you got me inside him. So there you go. Those are the things you gotta do. And yes, Demona, you're also wearing as much lingerie as you can. And Demona, if you wish to just express your sexuality, this is an option. You do it, yes, you'll probably make me pleased. Even more so than I originally would have been. You do have an option. In your side of your video, you're allowed to do this if you want to. You can show off your gypsy's body and play with yourself if you want to express your sexuality. I'll give you the option to do that. If you take it, well, me and Nick will obviously love the idea of you doing it. But what your master, you have to understand, is expecting out of you is not just answering all the stuff and putting all the stuff on and all the rest of that stuff and making sure the video is long enough. What you also have to understand, the main thing I'm trying to make sure that you develop under yourself is your sexuality to be able to match mine. And I'm telling you right now, I would be able to dominate you to probably where I would scare you right now if I was to go my most roughest and such on you right now to where you would be scared. You would be Demona. I know Gypsy would too, because she's used to gentle touch. So it would be easy to scare her. But I would even be able to scare you, Demona. Anyways, yes. Um, that's the reason why I mention all this stuff with you. The threesomes or foursomes. By you doing threesomes and foursomes, not only are you getting more sexual, let's explain this to you. Not only are you getting that, you're also handling more sexuality at once. By you doing this, you'll be able to handle the sexuality with me at my most roughest and such, like no one else can. So say if you and me were to do a rape crime or something, that woman that you and me would end up doing something like that with would be screaming like hell. Badly, I'd be doing that to her. While with you, you might scream, but it will be actually, instead of out of fear, it will be out of pleasure. You see what I'm saying? And yes, it may hurt, but one thing you gotta understand is sex with your master means pleasure and pain. So that means you have to get used to that too. Not to mention that's the BDSM way. However, the vampire form of that is a lot more sexual than just pleasure and pain. It's more sexual and pleasure, and not as much pain. But there is still pain involved. But the sexuality is what really stands out with the vampire way of it. So remember that, Demona. And you too, Gypsy, since I obviously am training you too. Alright, this is 8 minutes. I preferred to make this short, but I had to go in depth just because I had to make sure you both understood what I'm talking about here. So now, Demona, make sure you add all the stuff I just mentioned into your list that you make of what to remember for your video. And you do the same thing, Gypsy, since I did give you a lot to remember too, with this video and the other one included. Alright, now I'm going to say good night for this video, and it'll probably be the last video for today. If you earn more in the future, then that's good. That means you're both doing a great job. And obviously, I always tell you when you're doing a great job and when you're not doing a great job. I always tell you that, so this way you know when you're doing something wrong and when you're doing something right. Since obviously me as your master, I'm meant to guide you both. Alright, here we go. I as your master victor, and Gypsy's love master, and Demona's love slave master soulmate, which means I'm your master soulmate. Of you being my love slave, obviously. Soulmate, obviously. Do love, adore you both. And Demona, someday I'll worship you, but you have to work very hard to get to that point. If you do worship me, that's a good thing, because you deserve to actually worship your master. since that's the deepest form of love, which I do agree with Nick on, surprisingly. But yes, mention that, why don't you? At the end of your video, just before you say goodnight to us both, Demona, mention if you do adore me. Because not only do I know you adore me, go to a step further and mention if you worship me. See what I'm saying? I know you adore me, but is your love already at the worship level? Let your master know, your soulmate know. And as for Gypsy, all I expect out of you is to adore me. You don't have to worship me, but even though I've taught you a lot, I could understand if you ever were to do it. Alright, now here I go to end this. And I'm just reassuring you both just because I feel like it's a good idea to do. I is your master and soulmate. Meaning soulmate towards Demona, master towards Gypsy. Obviously, I'm Demona's master too. But I'm putting a combination here for you both to be thinking of yourselves as I mention this. Do love, adore you both. My love slave, Gypsy, and my love slave soulmate, Demona. Alright. Good night, my darling love slaves. Make me proud of you both by having everything I mentioned in this video along with the other one. So this way you can see your master smile. And remember, it's hard to please me. So if you don't do every single little detail I just mentioned in this video and the other one, you probably won't please me completely. I'm meant to be hard to please, so this way it drives you to work harder to please me. That's the reason behind that. Even though it's my natural way too. Alright, now that I said that, here's your goodnight kiss. You both obviously have not disappointed me, and that's the reason why I'm going to give you both individual ones this time. Just to spoil you both. Why the hell not? Here you go, Gypsy. And obviously I'll probably move more passionate towards Demona. No offense, Gypsy, it's just the soulmate thing, that's all it is. Alright, both make me proud. And Gypsy, reassure Nick, make sure you do it. And Demona, you make sure you reassure him too, with everything that you know is towards him that you're supposed to remember. And I hope to see you both do what you're supposed to. When you make your video towards me, Demona, remember to bow. Remember to do it. I'm reminding you of this now, so this way you do not disappoint me. Okay, hopefully you remember now that I did remind you. Since it's natural nature for their slave to bow to their master, because it shows a mutual respect. That's what it shows. And obviously that means you also respect my power over you, which is what I expect. Alright, now that I mentioned all that, a last goodnight kiss to you both, just because I can spoil you until you both have disappointed me. So here you go. Yes, a in one kiss. Here you go to both of you. Make me proud of you both now, my dears.